edition that deals. I think it's like a dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah, but he identified the 9 areas of people activity. I added a 10th, health, because the common denominator to economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. If you ain't got health, you can't do none of that.
Speak it. Health is wealth.
Right. And that's the 10th because it's the common denominator in all names.
Well, it's the one thing that they are purposefully attacking is the health of the humanity right now, perpetually with the food, the chemtrails, the soil, the blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Every which way, people are being incepted with some form of biological poison, and it's purposefully done because no matter how conscious we are, how rah we get, if we ain't feeling well, we can't get up to fight or even talk or even be conscious about a conversation like this the next day.
I know Bobby Kennedy said that they've been feeding us a look-alike food substance.
Oh, replications. Remember, like on Star Trek, you got the replicator, like the replicator of like, oh, it tastes like a burger. It may even look like a burger, but it's certainly not a burger. Okay, I don't think we've had food ever since they've, even with the whole concept of Whole Foods creating a store called Whole Foods, and Monsanto had incepted it. What was this, over like 10 years ago? All foods have been incepted with some sort of glyphosate, which is in all the wheats. And I always tell people the only way you can be certain of food is if you grow it yourself and you create those things from yourself. I am a proponent of putting hands in the soil. That's why you don't see nails on me, because my hand is always in the soil. We create our own substance for our babies, for our grandbabies, for our families. We weren't meant to eat from third parties. How could you ever feel secure eating from the enemy's hands? You know what I mean? That's why they had welfare, because they want you to go to their gross restores. You know what I mean? It's gross and it's a restore. Okay? If that's not telling you what it is, that's it. You go into the store and there's soy and everything. That's why the boys are wearing purses and high heels. You know what I mean? I tell mothers all the time, breast milk is the best milk for your babies. You're seeing worms inside of your formula because listen to the word formula. Why would you ever want to give a baby something that is formalized by in a laboratory by the enemy? Your breasts create the perfect alchemical milk that sustains a baby in every which way. If the baby has a cold, the mother will geoengineer alchemically the proper milk to build the antibodies to build the health of the baby. So I
But
would
that's what
say,
a cold is anyway.
absolutely.
A cold is you've encountered a foreign agent that your body has never experienced, and the colostrum in your mother didn't warn you about. So now you have to go through the process of analyzing and engineering a biological defense against it in the future. You never catch the same cold twice. They just call them a cold.
That's right.
Ain't got nothing to do with being cold either, because you can catch them in the summertime.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
This
all that's trickery.
it is.
It's
It
only
is.
two temperature related illnesses: hypothermia and hyperthermia.
Oh, very good. Yes. Yes.
Freezing to death or heat stroke.
And most viruses are all really, if we speak about it, most viruses are what we perceive to be viruses or diseases or cycle or product byproducts of your psychological disease of not being able to alchemically deal with some of the trauma-based programming that you're not acknowledging. And also parasites. There are parasites in everything. Parasites are most likely the number one cause of every single issue virally that's going on, including mold and spores that are in a lot of things with the amped up radiation, which we talk about Fukushima and also Chernobyl, and talk about the black mold that was eating the radiation. And I always tell people radiation and mold are like best friends and they're symbiotic. So when you have sugar, which is their number one source of food source, and they put sugar in toothpaste, lotions. They tell you to they put sugar in a very anything that doesn't even require it. That you're giving the food source to the parasites, the molds, and then you have amped up fiber optics all over the planet that was instituted during 2020 when they asked us to stay in our houses. And then you wonder why people are getting like these super duper enhanced ga 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 showing up and taking them out in 2.5 seconds.
Well, it's not the sugar.
Oh,
It's the It's the bleaching agent in the sugar
Oh,
that's
yes.
toxic.
Yes. Yes.
Like 80% of your glucose consumption is used for neural functioning.
Mm. You do need it. Yes.
So, but the problem is the bleaching agents that they use. Remember, when we used to cook confectionaries, we used to use syrups that come from trees,
Yes.
sugar cane, sugar
Tap the tree.
beets,
Yeah.
right?
Dates. Dates.
Or or we use a brown sugar,
Always. Always.
right?
Yes.
And the reason being is we didn't bleach it. Natural sugar is tan,
It is.
but they don't want you eating natural sugar because it
No.
doesn't have a bleaching agent in it.
And if people, and that's why white is always denoted to be, it's projected as being clean and cleansed. So people psychologically think if it's not white, it's not right.
Hmm. And
Right.
then you got the flour. And
Mhm.
flour not bad, but the bleaching agent they use to bleach the flour, so
And the
it's not a off.
hybridization. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's not an
hybridization.
off white yellow color
Yep.
with the natural color of flour.
Yes.
White flour is not natural;
No.
it's
And
bleached.
But
But
when you mill when you mill the actual when you mill the actual grain, it's really fine, beautiful tan, a little darkish. It's beautiful and the texture is really nice. But they don't teach people that. And also the hybridized wheat that's been geoengineered by our handy dandy governmental agents of bioweaponry, they created the most hostile wheat, which, back in the days no one had gluten issues. We ate Wonder Bread, for God's sake. Wonder Bread was the best peanut butter and jelly sandwiches you could ever have was on
oh
some
yeah,
Wonder
I
Bread. Remember
remember.
that? Woo, boy,
I
I could
remember.
smell it. You know what I mean?
Remember, we want some Wonder Bread. I remember.
Oh my God, it was soft. It was. Did you ever get sick from it? My mother never got sick from it. Nobody got sick from Wonder Bread. It was like, and we wrote in fifth grade. Our teachers had us write to the companies, and we had to write the ingredients and say how wonderful we liked each of the, kind of. I wrote for Wonder. I wrote to run Wonder Bread and some other bread company, and there was only like four ingredients. Okay, flour, maybe yeast,
Eggs, yeast.
yeah, something. It was four ingredients. I can remember it because I wrote to them, and then they send us coupons. So my dad used it was so cute. They sent us coupons for the appreciation. I loved the school back in the days. I mean, it was so simple, but it made you feel like you had a stake in things and that they heard you. But
That's why they changed it.
they did. They did. And the little boys, when you go in the grocery store, I tell mommy, it's like I go through when I have my little girls, like you read the ingredients. Soy lecithin is in every single cracker, all these donuts and cookies, and I see beautiful mommies walking out with their little boys with these crackers that are bioweapons to their testosterone, and the plastic bottles that are bombarding men with this estrogen mimicker that is making men either hyper feminine or causing testicular issues. It's a lot of
Hey, look,
things going on.
what's the number one weed that's the pariah to a green lawn?
The number one weed to a green lung.
Lawn with your grass.
Oh, dandelions. You're talking about dandelions are beautiful. You mean dandelions?
That's medicine.
Yes, yes. It's good for you.
That's medicine.
Yeah.
Dandelion clean the liver.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we used to make jelly out of the tops. We used to milk the stalk,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Mm-hmm.
used to eat dandelion greens.
That's right. All the time. Still in the South. My mother-in-law, that's what she used to make was
But
dandelion
now
greens.
they got us spraying this orca stuff on there because we think that they
Oh,
bad.
that's
They come,
you mean, yeah, on the
yeah, they come
lawns.
treat your grass and get rid of your dandelions for you because that's an
Listen,
eyesore to your green lawn.
I was living in Mount Vernon because I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, and the Italian women would come straight off the boat from Italy and Sicily, and the first thing they would do is go on the lawns of everybody's lawn. Where they picking dandelions, dandelions, just picking them. They thought it was like, oh my God, free. You know what I mean? Because to them it was such a big deal. But that lets the mindset of the forgetting of the medicinal purposes of why things show up. Even with the garden, when you garden, when something's going on with you, your garden will manifest the medicine that is to heal you. So you'll see all of a sudden like a whole patch of marigolds show up, and you're like, oh, interesting. Someone's going through something heart wise. They need a little. they need a little healing. So let's bring the marigolds in and like crush it or eat it, you know? Even with teaching the little ones how to forage and look for the little things that they can eat. And everything in the garden that grows in and around you within 20 feet is your medicine.
No, this is something I seen when I was a little boy, and I didn't understand it until like I got up in age. My big mama, she used to love watermelon just like my mama, and they both
Mm,
used to do this one little thing they used to do. They suck on the seeds and put them
the
in the
DNA.
bowl,
That's right.
right? They suck on the seeds, put them in the bowl, and they used to grow the sweetest watermelons I ever tasted,
To
and I
their
could never
palate.
understand. I'm like, why did? Because I asked my mama, why y'all be sucking on them seeds?
Yeah,
She say so we can get ready to plant them.
that's right. Oh, I love it.
Man, she's sucking on a goddamn watermelon seed to plant.
That's that DNA, honey.
Yeah, so they suck on the seed and whatever they thinking about, they charge in the seed.
Mm,
Then
power.
they have to put up. They spit them in the bowl and they sit the bowl in the window to dry in the sun.
Mhm. It's embedded.
And then they go out when planting season come and plant watermelon.
Oh, I love it. They were clever women, conscious women. Even
But
with when we give birth, that's another thing. Like in our culture, we were taught that after our afterbirth, when we come home with our babies intact, because you don't cut off the umbilical cord because that blood has to resurge inside of the baby. And then when it naturally falls off, we were always taught to dig a hole 6 feet deep. And every medicinal seed that we had was held in a ceremony. And we would plant our birthing sac inside of the ground. And when those herbs grew, it would be the medicine for daddy, baby, and mommy, and the whole family. And it would have the genetic and kinetic information from the afterbirth in order to give the medicine to the baby and the mommy and the daddy.
well, if you go down to Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, in the backwoods, and you try to cut certain trees down,
Yeah,
the people in that family gonna go ballistic,
that's right.
right? Because we used to plant seeds of trees where we bury the elderly,
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love
and
this.
we just like in the movie Avatar, how they go into the tree.
Ewa, yes.
Yeah, the boys, we be all up in the tree. Matter of fact, it's a picture around here my brother got. I'm gonna see if I can show it to
That's
you. Hold on.
Granny. That's Granny. Yeah, because that Granny up in the tree. That's Granny tree.
It's over there. Hold on, I'm gonna grab this
Yeah, go
picture.
get, go get it. Oh my God, yes. Isn't that so true, y'all? It's so beautiful. So bury your family in a tree, a beautiful magnolia tree, and then you go and you smell your mom or your dad or grandma. Isn't it so beautiful? I mean, that's the way we're supposed to honor our loved ones. Oh my God.
The name of this picture is called Blackbirds.
Oh, I love it. What do
You
you
see
oh,
all those children in the trees?
yes, yes. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, do you guys see this? That is beautiful. Wait, hold on. I want to spotlight you. How do I do this? Hold on, y'all. How do I spotlight you? Hold on, Rod. Stay right there. Just 1 minute. I want to spotlight you. Can I spotlight you? God darn it. You won't let me do it.
It was doing it automatically before I was talking. It's not doing it now. But look,
It's beautiful. Oh man. That reminds me of the Black Panther. Remember when he went into when he took the purple herb and he went into the ancestral realm and they were and the ancestors were in the trees? That's a
yeah,
reference. Remember, they used to hurt us. Like on our island, I remember there were stories like when some of the Europeans came, in order to hurt us, they would go to some of our older trees and they would try to cut them down to hurt us personally.
they
To like, yeah.
they made lumberjacks into heroes so that we wouldn't protest them mass harvesting the trees,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? But we forget that, well, a lot of us are unaware. We used to be able to walk from the Louisiana border of Texas all the way to Florida without never leaving the treetops.
Oh, so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
You can get to the Florida Keys. You can leave the Florida Keys in the treetops and travel all the way up through the Appalachian Mountains into New York, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio. All of the trees is gone. I'm surprised we can even breathe over here.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they only plant now male trees. That's why we have all the weird pollen and allergies because they're supposed to pollinate the female trees and create fruits. So they don't want that. So now you have people just breathing in, all of the pollen from the one homogeneous group of trees. I mean, I think they're psychopaths, personally.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I used to be wondering. I used to ask my mom, why they keep cutting down all the trees? Because my mom used to say, because they the devil.
I love your mama. That's right. Go
I
ahead.
didn't,
So
I
that's
didn't know what
right.
she was talking about. Mom,
She
why
was
they keep cutting
right.
down all the trees? Because they the devil.
That's right. She knew. She knew their names. That's what they were.
Hmm.
Why would you do that? They're sentient too. You ever like, I remember I was really sad and I would go, a little girl, like you just like in almost it's like inside of you to go and sit underneath the tree. It's like, it's almost like the tree calls you like, psst, come over here. Psst, come sit underneath us. Let's give you an energetic hug. And you would sit underneath the tree. I would always have like my little notebook and sit underneath the tree. I'd be sad about something trivial, and just sit underneath the tree. And I tell you, no, no, within maybe 5 minutes, whatever bothered me, it almost dissipated.
The
It's
tree
it's
is steady, stable energy.
mhm.
The bigger the tree is, the older the tree is, the more stable the energy the tree can
Yes,
help you balance out your energies.
yes.
Look, I went to Florida, to
Mhm.
Tallahassee, and I had a communication with a tree that told me when I get back, touch the big tree by your house.
Because they could
Look,
talk at the roots, yes.
I'm sitting there and I'm laughing at myself. I'm like, how the hell that tree know I got a tree by my house?
Because they know they got that
Right?
network.
So look, I get back home, I forget. I forget to go out and touch the tree.
Yeah,
Because that's how he told me he had to pass the information.
yeah.
Right? So about 5, 6, 7 days go by. And I'm laying in the bed. I just got there. I'm about halfway through a blunt. And I hear the tree say, hey. I do like this. I'm like, what the? He said, hey. So I say, I'm tripping. I must be getting high, getting a download. He said, it's not a download. This is the tree. You remember me from Florida?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, when are you gonna go touch the tree outside? It was
Oh,
look, it was the bright sunny day. So the tree is literally in the front, right next to the driveway.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out here and touch this damn tree. Cause I don't want this motherfucker coming back to me no more, getting on my nerves,
Harassing you in
right?
your sleep and your rest. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got an excellent sense of humor. So I go outside, I take off my shoes because he told me when I was down there, I had on my flip flops. He said, is you can't communicate with the tree correctly with them shoes on.
Not with them rubber shoes. Nah.
So I take my shoes off. I had somebody standing there with me. Arisha Stone was standing there with me, and he was trying to get me to do libation to the tree. I said, "Tree don't want me to do libation." He got a message from me. So I took my shoes off. I stood on the tree root going into the ground. I put my hands on the tree, and he started telling me, "Man, I'm so glad you can hear me." He's like, "Man, you humans are some funny creatures." He said, "But you know what the funniest part is that you humans be having sex under us trees, and y'all think we don't know."
I know that's right.
Right? He said, and so me and the tree have a whole fucking conversation. So I get back home, I touch the tree outside, right? Like literally, as soon as I took my shoes off, put my feet on the bottom of the trees, and I touched
Yeah.
the tree with my hands,
Yeah.
it sounded like I heard applause from a Dave Chappelle show. All of the trees in the neighborhood is laughing,
Finally.
right? All the trees is laughing, right? And I'm like, this is some weird old stuff here, right? So the tree was like, thank you, thank you. I couldn't wait to get that joke out. And they had a tree joke. I don't know what the joke was, but it wasn't for me. It was just for the trees. So when I finally touched the tree and they all bust out laughing, I'm like, man, this is some weird. I was like, and I hadn't had no mushrooms. So I know I wasn't on the trip. And I was like, what the hell? So So I go back in the house. I lay back down on the bed, and Tree come to me. He's like, "Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man." He said, "We
Oh,
had
that's
we
so
had a
cool.
whole lot of catching up to do, and there's not a whole lot of people that come from my area to your area to transfer the message that know what they doing." I was like, "This is some weird old stuff," but the tree was literally told me what to do, and I thought it was just I was tripping.
No, no. Full
Man,
communication.
that tree was dead serious.
Oh, that is so
He
funny.
was dead serious, and he had all kind of jokes. And then so we walking back from when I first touched the tree,
Uh-huh.
and the girl I was walking her to her car,
Yeah.
right, and we was just chatting, right, and she was like, "How old do you think that tree is?" And the tree told me, like, she said he think he about 150 years old. I said, I don't know how old he is. He said, years? We don't count our age in years. I got 136 rings. Tell her I got 136
Right.
rings.
I know
That's
that's
how
right.
old I am. I'm 136 rings. I was like, what the?
That's deep that you picked that up. Yes. You picked up even the way that they
Look, I was
interpret
laughing.
time.
Look, I was laughing so hard. It was
That
the
is that is
funniest.
amazing. That is absolutely amazing. They're just like I said. The trees have such a good, especially with us who are indigenous to certain places. They all of us really they communicate with, but they have some really close relationships with some of us that are profound. I remember a tree because I'm talking smack online all the time, so I always got to evade the daggers, the energy coming towards me. And I had a Harry Potter tree. I love this tree, and I get so emotional because when I move, they kill my tree, but he was always alive. And the rest of the because they embody the when they are about to go, they know, and they kind of see their consciousness in the roots of the other trees. But he used to position, and people witness this ride, no lie. Harry Potter tree, eyes, mouth, everything. I used to be on lives with him. If somebody was driving past my house that was nefarious, don't you know I would wake up and the tree would be faced slightly outward, looking out down the road. And if someone came from another direction, the tree would like posture itself a little bit other to see the other side. It was so magical. It was so like profound. I was like, wow, what a powerful tree.
Yeah.
And then
Earth is very magical. The whole Earth realm is magical. But
absolutely.
the problem is we killed our inner child as adults to survive in this society that they don't communicate with certain energy frequencies,
Yeah. Yeah,
right? So nature itself is magical.
it is.
Everything nature do, like if you just look at the designs of the veins in a leaf,
Mm,
that's some magical stuff.
it is.
you know. And then we have leaves we use in rituals. Like they think that an oak tree is just an oak tree, or a willow tree is just a willow tree. Them trees
Mm-hmm.
got purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
know their purpose better than you know your purpose. That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
They know our purpose better than we know our purpose.
Yeah, because they can communicate with an ancestor from in our DNA that used to talk to the trees.
That's right.
We used to make fun of people because we called them tree huggers.
It is what it is.
But I didn't make fun of them. But I used to hear other people making fun of them. But I never made fun of them because one of the most comfortable things for me to do was climb to the top of the tree and sit there and eat my fruit.
That's right. Right.
Look, when I
So
was a little boy, everywhere I went, it was fruit trees. I can't find no fruit trees no more.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're finding people for in certain places in the United States, if you plant fruit trees, you're getting fines. They're saying that it's a hazard to the environment because when the fruit falls, it causes like what is it? Decay and as if nature has nothing falls and decays on the ground. Okay, and
That's
remember,
that's the original recycling process.
it is. But remember, even, I know this is a disgusting topic, but I think you can appreciate this remembrance. Remember when dogs used to go outside to go to the bathroom, they do number two, and the poop used to actually turn white. So you would see that, because I'm a gardener, so I'm always aware of the pH and the alchemical reactions of soil to things on top. But I remember noticing that there was no more dog poop that turned gray or white anymore. And I think that has to do with the imbalances of what's in the environment with the trees and the grass and how that interfaces with the chemicals of decomposition, how things decompose. They don't decompose the same way anymore. You
You
know, I know
remember
it's a disgusting
if
topic, but I just noticed that.
in the 70s and before, if you had a dog, your dog ate everything.
Yep.
Your dog ate dead carcasses. Your dog ate fruits, vegetables, whatever you threw out there on that dog ate that.
Hmm.
These new dogs won't eat nothing.
Oh, that's true.
But
That's true.
what's the difference in the feeding schedule of
Ah,
the
interesting. Yeah,
domesticated dog?
you're right. You're right. The food is different. That's why the composition of the poop is different. The way very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the reason why they poop would turn white is because the ground was absorbing the nutrients.
Oh, yes, and it's not doing it anymore because there's no
No,
nutrients
now
in
you
there.
have to go through the composting process from A to Z.
Hmm.
There's no shortcut for the earth to absorb the new food stuff that we giving the dogs.
That's right.
But look, if you go to a farm where they feed the dogs the scraps from cutting up their own foods and
Hmm.
butchering their own
Hmm.
cows,
Hmm.
those dogs' poop still turn white.
It probably does. You're right. You're right. You're right. I
But
haven't noticed.
these city dogs,
You
my
know.
father laughed at me because it was something my dog was allergic to. My father laughed at me saying, "These new dogs are some sissy dogs."
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's true. They eat differently. Like they're like the new hybrid, canines. You know what I mean? They're not even the same as they were before when we were years
You
ago.
you ever heard of Dr. Joel Wallach? Dead doctors tell no tales.
That sounds familiar. Not the name.
Okay, Dr. Joel Wallach. He started off as a farmhand growing up,
Hmm.
and he became a veterinarian.
Hmm.
Then he went from being a livestock vet to a zoo vet.
Okay.
The difference in the pathology of the animals that died on the farm versus the animals that died in the zoo made him curious. So he go back to school and become an MD.
Hmm.
Then he become a coroner where he do autopsies, right? And he found that zoo animals and humans die from the same shit, but wild animals don't die from that,
Mm.
right? And he was explaining that normally wild animals die from they get too old and then another animal kill them, or um, over time they just lay down and die.
Yeah, they go somewhere and die. Like farm
Yeah,
dogs do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that the dogs, the animals that he was doing the cropsies on in the as a veterinarian and as a zoo hand, this is how he first seen this anomaly, and he wanted to know if the same thing applied to people.
Mhm.
And most of it is raging malnutrition.
Yes. Yes.
Everything from massive obesity to
It's,
severe anorexia.
yeah,
All of it
same. It's
is,
the same. Yes.
yeah. And they used to give the kids on the farm used to get horse vitamin.
Mm.
It
I
used to be
remember
big ass,
that. I worked at a horse farm. Yes. I
yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
But they would never get sick.
It's true. Or parasites or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing.
And
Yeah.
for the parasites, they used to give them castor oil in the spring, castor oil midsummer,
Turpentine.
castor oil in the fall.
Hmm. And
Yeah, and
also
turpentine.
white yellow sulfur. The southern people do that. The yellow
Yeah,
sulfur. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. And so that's how they kept you from getting sick.
that's
That's
right.
called quackery in modern medicine.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
But,
And
but, but
tobacco heals. Nicotine is the healer of all things. Even though nicotine is not addictive, but everything else in the cigarette and the cigar is. But they'll demonize nicotine, which is actually a requirement in our bodies.
it's a nootropic.
Absolutely. Nightshades all have nicotine, and that's why when you eat nightshades, you don't get as sick because those sit on your nicotine sites, disallowing other things that are viral to take over those placements.
They discovered that the Jabberwocky, one of the things that caused it to not be active in the people was in the people that smoke because it was blocking the nicotine
Yo,
receptors in the brain.
it was crazy. Even during cucarachas, we can't
That's what
say
I'm
that.
talking about.
You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. But it's the nicotine, and I was like, my ex, because he's down with the cigarettes, right? And I was saying, don't do anything, don't, babe, don't, da 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 da. Da. And next thing you know, he was like, he didn't get sick, nothing, nothing. But guess what? Because he always had the cigarettes every day, and they'd be like, oh, the smokers are dying. No, they weren't. Those are the motherfuckers that were actually not getting nothing. It was
Hmm.
crazy. Yeah. And they were trying to
Yeah.
ban it too. They still trying to ban it. That's why I say if people don't like the cigarette or cigar, then you can also do there's an organic gum that's pure nicotine. But I actually like the southern people in Alabama and Mississippi with the old pipes. Like the grandmothers who used to sit on the porch. So gangsta. I love that look. Like those old movies. I know I'm such a nerd, right? I'm such a nerd. Like I watch those old 70s movies with like the southern movies and the woman's outside like on the rocking chair like this. Yeah, that motherfucker's gonna come home. And she
Madame
got the
Laveau.
huh?
Madame Laveau used to chain smoke cigars
Yes, yes. I
and
love
use
it. And
them
you
in
see the
ceremony
pipe.
and ritual.
It was so cool. Yeah. I don't know, it's gangsta. Like I like to see the old movies with they have the pipe and she's got it on the side of her mouth and she's like rocking, just waiting. You know what I mean? And the shotgun be right on the side in case anybody want to pop off. You know what I mean? Nobody,
Just
not,
don't
you don't
let
think.
them kids in the front yard scream, Big Mama got on Big Papa shoes.
Yo, listen, listen. It's so beautiful, right? Just the I don't know. I like I said, if I could time loop back into I'd be a '70s chick just sitting out in the country just chilling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
the
you
best
want to do some
times.
Q&A? My phone running low on
Oh
battery
yeah, okay,
chain.
okay. So let's yeah. Anyone? Okay, so let's get questions. If anyone has questions for Rod, let's do this. I know we could talk all night. I told you I'm a chatterbox. Anyone have questions for Rod? Also, I want to put your cash. Rod, can you send me your cash app again? Cash app for Rod, please. Rod, please. He is like so wonderful. It's like sitting with an old friend outside under the stars talking about everything. You know what I mean? Please. And I'm grateful he decides to come on because I'm a little out there. So I'm grateful he decides to come and talk to me. So I think please support Rod and everything that he says.
You
And
say you out there. Shit, you should hear the shit they be saying about me.
that's I think that's why we get along, though. You know what I mean? It's like when you think outside the box and you have conversations with people who are in alignment with certain awareness and certain ideologies. It's nice. It relaxes your angst. You know what I mean? Okay, let me get this, y'all. Let me put this in. Let me put it in, y'all. Hold on. So, any questions for Rod, please? Anyone? Questions, Monsieur, Mademoiselle, Madame? Hold on. Let me put your cash at it. Hold on, Rod. Let me do this real quick. Because we're gonna head on out. It is Friday night. Like if I have a life, but yeah, I can have a life if I wanted to. uh, hold on. Um, sorry. Any questions, anyone? Please ask now or forever hold your peace. Rod has been on with us graciously. Hold on, y'all. All night long. Okay. Where can we expect all the great mothers to reveal itself to the public? That's a question for you, Rod.
Say that again.
Okay, hold on. Let's question. It says, hold on. When can we expect all the great mothers to reveal themselves?
They actually in the public site right now. Just you ain't looking for them.
Um, does he remember the connection between Orion and Sirius?
Yeah, it's the natives say. the Great Father walks with the black dog. Osiris is the Orion constellation, and the black dog is the Canis constellation, Canis Major, right? And the connection is the systems. The ones from the Canis star system established Dogon in Africa, Hopi in America. The Osirians is the Temple of Isis, Temple of Osiris in Arizona, the setup of Kemet. That's all Osirian. The whole Orion constellation is literally on the ground in Egypt, but the original temples is over here. So the connection was in the spiritual information that was given to us through the elders that projected their consciousness from those places.
Thank you for that. Will the de facto government prosecute the destiny swappers?
That's going to be more in the realm of spirit because that's a conjure spell that's
Oh,
prohibited in the free will universe. And it's only a small percentage of them that's capable of carrying it out. It might be 10 living people on Earth.
what
But
should
they're
we
going to be dealt with.
what should we do? Thank you, Yvette. What should we do to continue elevating and increasing our frequency?
Learn everything you can about what's going on, pay attention, and each one teach one. But every time you learn something new, teach it to somebody. Every time you learn something new, teach it to somebody because that's getting you prepared. Right? No matter what it is. If you learn how to fill up water balloons for the first time, teach a baby how to fill up a water balloon. Whatever you learn, teach somebody else. Because that's going to also open you up to receive new information because you share it.
Yes. Question: what are your thoughts on the demonic acid affecting sea lions over the west side?
I haven't heard about it.
Me either. That's new. Um, how does the Titan race relate to humans? And I'm just gonna ask two more questions after that, and I'm gonna let Rod have his evening.
The Titans is the disincarnate form of the first spirits of the earth that's called the Ennead, the Ogdad. Those are just some of the names of the Titans. Look, the Titans is so big they can't fit inside the atmosphere of the earth. The earth in its atmosphere can be one of their chakras. Indictments for people involved in
That's what I
spraying
heard.
chemtrails. Yep,
That's what I heard.
they announced that this week, as a matter of fact.
Yes. I think it's happening as we speak. I have many dreams when I am royalty and had white hair. The nation was also white hair. What race is that? Hmm.
So some of us, the white, well, it depends because you might be having memories from being on the off-world civilization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The Anunnaki also with Queen Empress Sheba, the notion of her, the quantity of her royalty and her blood denoted her hair being, she was born with pure white hair. And I also denoted that back in the days when the Europeans were mimicking a certain people, with the bondus, with the tool they used to wear with their bums look really bumped out. And also they would wear powder in their hair, and very coily hair upward, almost like a cone head. I think they were mimicking certain species that they were in contact with.
Well, the cone's hair, that's a beehive. The
Ooh,
beehive was a symbol
yes.
for a matriarch who was
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
yeah. So,
Yes.
but they do have like a lot of us over here. Our faces and our bodies didn't age,
Mhm.
so our hair turned white.
Yes. Yes. What's with Jackson, Mississippi oldest volcano? Last one. That's it.
Well, it's a historical site to us,
Hmm.
and we have reverence for the volcano. It's the symbol of the burst of the mother, outburst of the mother. You know, when she been being nice to you all day, you still
Yeah.
won't listen, and she finally screams, "Sit your ass down!" And that was the symbol for the eruption, and we use that as a descriptive analysis for the volcano. Big Mama yelling at us for something because we ain't listening.
All right, everybody. I want to thank Rod Hayes for coming on tonight, chatting it up on Friday night, hanging out with Flurroon and our people. You know what I'm saying? Off world, on world, in world, out world. Thank you, Rod, for coming on again. I think
Well, you
everyone
welcome.
truly appreciates you. Please give amazing love to Rod's Cash App, and hopefully he'll come back and talk to us again on something different and fun again. Thank you, Rod, so much. I always appreciate when you come on, keep teaching and so on. And Rod, can you tell us where people can reach you or watch some more of your videos? Anything that you could share?
Yep. Normally when I get to go live, I post it on Facebook if I'm gonna be on somebody's channel on my Rod Hayes page.
Mhm.
I'm still shadow banned on Instagram. That page is the Sick Eight. Yeah,
Why?
because they feel like it.
Come on now. People hating. Come on. Why you hating? Appreciate. You know what
Well,
I'm
I'm
saying?
revving up for June to start doing lives on TikTok.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. I'm excited about
I was
that.
a guest on We Know the Truth Now.
I
Uh,
think so. Isn't he on
yeah,
TikTok? He's on TikTok, isn't he?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and Instagram and Facebook. But I was on there as a guest, and so I so I figured I'd probably start doing something over there since they won't let me back on Instagram.
You're there. Just go where you appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I always like to be where I am. Where rather, if you don't tolerate me, I want to be where I'm appreciated, and you should be the same. Okay. If they
I
don't have
don't go.
appreciation for you, go where you appreciate it.
I don't go nowhere I'm not invited. I don't impose my presence on nobody.
That's right. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I welcome everybody with open arms until they come with some bullshit.
I
Then
don't. I don't do
I
that.
put them in a headlock.
If I open my arms to you, it's because I want to, and I ain't open my arms to everybody. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I only treat people different when they act different.
That's true.
You know?
It's hard. Online is like another. It's like another world. You know what I mean? It's got its own
Oh
like.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is like Gossip Central.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just want to live in the trees, butt naked, just eating pineapples. That's my goal. You know what I'm
Everybody got their opinions,
saying? Anyway,
and their opinions more valid to them than the facts.
I mean, it is what it is. I think, again, we're living in a world that's very simulated based. A lot of just,
Chief Rod Hayes. Peace and blessings. What's good with you, bro?
Peace, bro. Peace. Just
Yes,
taking it easy, going with the flow. You know how I do.
already. So yeah, man, we about to get in here and burn this thing down once again. It's definitely been it's been an interesting week, a couple of weeks actually. Shoot, from the first time you came on till now, it's been a lot of motion, man. So we definitely salute you and appreciate the coming through, man, and chopping it up with the tribe, and dope show last week with the elders for the honoring El Hajj, and then shout out to the tribe, man. Tribe is tribe and heavy. A lot of new faces, a lot of new subscribers. I give thanks, peace, and blessings to all y'all. We appreciate the love and support. And so yeah, with that, Big Chief, man, where do you see the awakening as a collective when you talk about where the planet is now, and then also like with the planetary alignments, all the recent solar eclipses, and a lot of different alignment from a astrological level as well as the planetary level, but also on the level of the people, as above so below. So where do you see us right now when it comes to this thing called the Great Awakening?
Well, most of the people are not gonna wake up without the information dump.
Mm.
The information dump is the shock and awe that's gonna wake up what we call the normies, the NPCs, right? But when the
What is that?
solar
I didn't mean to interrupt.
non-player,
Break that down.
non-player characters, Mr. Smith agents, they
Hmm.
think they're working. They think they're working for the people, but they're agents for the system,
Mm.
right? They're just going along to get along. But the ones of us that see what's going on, we don't want to go along and get along. We rebellious, resistant, antagonistic. We reject it. We won't accept it.
You know Hank Rise's son, right?
I don't know him
You ever heard of him?
personally.
He's been on my channel. You ever heard of him?
You see, somebody mentioned him to me about a day or two ago.
Yeah, cool brother. I definitely gotta introduce y'all. But anyway, Hank was talking about changing the energy of your room, and you know how the corners in the homes. He was talking about how how we're geometric slaves, and the corners in the room is on that 90-degree angle, and he was saying how we got to change that angle so energy could flow better. So he got these things, right, and what you do is you put it up in all the corners of your room, so instead of the energy hitting that 90-degree angle, I guess it like bounces off this or whatever. What have you heard about the corners in the room? You know, the dust gets stuck there. They say the spirits get stuck there. What can you tell us about the corners of our room and the fact that we live in these huge boxes, Rod?
That ties to feng shui,
Yeah, I figured that. Yep.
right? So in the Asian tradition of the feng shui, it's about the flow of energy through the environment.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, a box is a geometric form of a platonic solid.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it got its own energy dynamic associated with it. You ever see somebody do their fingers like this?
Yeah.
All right, it's a universal symbol for moving energy in multiple directions. And if you look at most corners, it's the same thing. Those three things sticking out from the corner. You know, it's rare that you're gonna have a four-sided corner in the room. Right? But it's always at least four walls in the room. When you put the energy, each one of the platonic solids has a purpose. The squares are used for what we call military regimentation. The circles is used for what they call homogeneous harmony. And if you go back, the further you go back in history, we just start using regimented squares in the last 1,000 years or so.
Wow, that's new.
We were using circles. Look at all of the castles. All of the castles have a big circular room.
Yep.
You know, and then the bedrooms were what we call a dome shape or arch shape. Right? So, but those were the curves to the flow of energy. Energy flows the path of least resistance. So when you put it at a 45-degree angle, that's a hard left. It's a hard turn. Right. That's resistance to the flow of the energy. But they do that, the science that's talks about the box is the science of B.F. Skinner. I remember he used the frequency and the energy of the box to psychologically condition people. This is why we got away from teaching class out in the open field yards and started teaching them in the classrooms. When you look at the Pavlovian response to the Bell system, mingled with the square boxes, the Skinner boxes of the classrooms, right? And over time, it creates apathy, which is a form of depression in the child. They know this already, though.
Yeah,
it's not a secret. It's designed that way.
Real quick, somebody in the chat said, "Why do they say square to circle?" I know they say that in do they say that in Freemasonry, square in the circle?
Yes, that's where that come from. It's not a what we call a colloquial or a mainstream terminology. Square in the circle is okay. A circle is 360 degrees. A square is four 90-degree angles. So you start off with the square, which you look at the Masonic tool, circle in the square is the compass and the square both being used to build up on the philosophy of the mind.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Just had to, want to ask you about that. I'm about to put this up in my room. Yo, they say you was on live with Hank yesterday, and somebody said Hank and Mauricia Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hank. That's what I'm talking about. That brother.
Oh yeah, he asked me something unique that nobody had ever asked me about, which was the science of the knots.
Yeah. He's on to that. He was talking about that on my show. What you told him about that?
You know, the knot, that's actually more science. It's a navigation. When you go to become a longshoreman,
yeah,
the first couple years, all they teaching you is the different types of knots and their functionality. But you also learn, as you be out there contemplating, that you could put energy in knots. When you creating the knots, when you go into a arts and crafts store and they have those hanging baskets for the flowers, they are made out of knots.
right.
The different knots perform different functions.
Do you before we leave the whole feng shui topic, do you? I know they be talking about shit like sleep with your head facing the north. Do you do all that in your home? Is that accurate? Is there any truth to that? I don't know if it's north or south.
It's supposed to be for longevity. That came from the Emerald Tablets.
Oh, that came from the
Yeah.
Damn.
And I've been ever since I read the Emerald Tablets. The only way my head not facing the north is I don't have an option, or I've rearranged the room to alter the flow of the energy.
So when you said your head facing north, you mean your face is facing the north, or your head like the north? So the north is behind your crown.
Yeah.
Oh. Shit.
For the man, that's the man standing on his head. It's an actual Masonic symbol for it.
Yeah.
For the woman, it's Venus spread eagle with her arms stretched out.
Let me see something, bro. Let me see what's going on here. So, all right. So they saying my north, they saying is this way. So my head will have to be facing this way if I was asleep, right?
Yep, the Creole crown face toward the north.
Yeah.
But that's just to go with the flow of the energy of the planet.
Right.
This is the magnetic north is where your energy is being drawn toward. If you put the energy pulling at your feet, it's pulling against the grain. You ever had woodworking in school or anything?
Nah, not in my school.
Okay, you ever look at wood and you notice that it has like a grain, like a string? Okay, now when you learn to work wood, if you sand across the grain, you actually make the wood rough. But if you want the wood to be smooth, you sand with the grain and gradually work to a smaller and smaller grit paper. Right? You can't, if you go across the grain, it's going to always look damaged, scratched. But if you go with the grain, it's going to always be smooth. So it's the same with energy, following the path of least resistance.
Right. Yeah, this energy thing, yo. I was talking to Sharif. Oh, by the way, yo, you know what we gotta do? We gotta set up the next episode of Spiritual Therapy on Patreon. I'm gonna call you. I'll probably call you tomorrow, and we'll set something up. Because
they had a blast on that one, Rick.
Yo, they had a good time last month. They had a good time. That shit was mad fun. Let me show you something real quick. Hold up. Because this is what Sharif about to bring this on.
I think it's a Greek term. It's a Greek reference to what the Kemetics or the Egyptians call Heka.
Right. I heard of Heka.
Yeah. Heka is the origin. Heka is the science of Tahuti.
Yeah.
That manifests creation before you.
Yeah.
Right. So we start calling it magic as what the Magus done. The Magus were the priests.
Okay.
And the stuff that they did, the root work that they did, we refer to as magic when that language became a prominent part of rising culture.
Right. Indeed.
Like a sorcerer and a magician is the same thing.
Same thing. Yep.
And the priest.
Mm, mm.
It's only what kind of sorcery or magic or what kind of priestly duties will you assert? Right? The sage, the wise man, he's the Jordan Maxwell. Just read a whole bunch of stuff, learn a whole bunch of stuff, and then be like, why the hell I learned all that shit? Right? So he just know a lot of stuff, and then common sense and spirituality kicks in at a certain point. Then the sage becomes the priest as the monk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're looking at the spiritual development in the different cultures of the world over time, and they all overlap and interchange.
Mm-hmm. 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 No, indeed. In terms, shout, and I see King Simon in the chat. Shout out to my brother King Simon. You know, speaking of magic, and I know you're always talking about the spells and the conjure wars and spells that was placed, a collective spell that was placed on us. I wanted to ask you something real quick. I was watching a clip from this hip hop radio show, The Breakfast Club, and this rapper named Gucci. You heard of Gucci Mane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gucci Mane was on there with his wife, and his wife was speaking, and she was saying how he's schizophrenic or something. And a lot of people were saying, yo, she put a spell on him. That ain't the real Gucci Mane. She put some roots on him. What do you know about our culture of putting spells on each other and women placing love spells? Was that something that was big in our culture? Is that something that's real? Is that just some placebo shit? Talk to me. What's your thoughts on that culture? Because they always associate Haiti with that. They always be like, all the motherfucking Haitians be into that. But what's your thoughts on the whole, you know?
So going into that, we're going to start with the top of the bottom of the question with the Haitians. The reason why the Haitians were so feared is because they were so successful using the arts. We called it the arts. You didn't look at it as good or bad. It was just a part of life.
Right.
We look at now, we look at voodoo and hoodoo and root work as religious practices. They're not religious. This is how people lived. And we had a lot of different people that worked the root. Normally, regular people would consult the root worker to do the work on their behalf. And the goal was called the great equalizer. It was an alchemical process, and this is how people used to give the priest gold.
Right.
Because if the work that they are asking the priest to perform for them is more valuable than the piece of gold, the gold has a metaphysical property to read the inequity in the transaction and draw more gold to the practitioner until he get what he got coming. So this is where your offering started at. And then the priests end up with so much gold, they became bankers and changed the world.
Wow. Indeed. I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. We had 2,000 early in here tonight. We had 2,000 in the chat early tonight. Yo,
man,
so
a couple people message me talking about it. I'm be watching.
Yeah, no, indeed. I'm gonna be jumping around tonight. This is an opportunity for me to ask you, as the clock is ticking, with these folks that run around this world thinking they run it. A lot of people are curious about a lot of different things. I actually had a good conversation with Dr. Phil Valentine yesterday, and he had brought up this book. He had brought it up, and he was talking about JJ what's the name? What's the dude name? JJ Hurdick or whatever. And I was like, "You talking about this book?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yo, Rod Hayes, put me onto that book." earlier this year. So I was telling Phil, I was like, yo, it's a complicated read. Like when I got it, I slept on it, but I started reading. I was like, yo, this book is some advanced shit. So what I want to do, Rod, I want to read just a little bit of it, and after I read, I'm gonna say, Rod, what the hell they talking about? I just want to get a little bit of your a little bit of your expertise, Rod, because and I want to talk to you about remote viewing too in a little while. I hope I don't forget, because I know you said you remote viewed and got some of this information.
Now, that one came to me in a dream. I seen that book in a dream.
A dream. Okay, I knew it was something.
And,
Right.
then I found it searching for like a couple years after I got out the joint. And I finally found it.
All right, I don't want to read too much, but it's some interesting shit, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I'm telling y'all, fam, this shit is some. All right, so let me start, Rod. Our universe was created out of the light synthesis of the next universe, the Pleiades, the cradle and the throne of our consciousness. That's how they started it. That's the top here that I'm gonna read. But yeah, they said so off the top, Rod. They said the Pleiades is the cradle and the throne of our consciousness, and our universe was created out of that light synthesis. So
Seven sisters.
Huh?
The seven sisters. Okay, so you look at it like this.
Yeah.
So from Orion, you get your masculine principle.
Mm-hmm.
From the Dog Star, you learn loyalty and dedication. From the Pleiades, you activate your what we call luminous self.
Okay.
Right? Your luminous self is also referred to as your multi-dimensional self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The little quote that you was reading, he's telling you that the spillover from the Pleiadian light is making up our spiritual matrix, but he's actually referring to the Pleiadian light lock.
Mm.
The Pleiadian light lock is what's holding us, and why everybody think we under a dome. The scientists call the light barrier the Van Allen belt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? But the ancients refer to it as the Pleiadian light lock.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only supposed to be here until we resolved what we call the war in heaven that fell to earth.
Mm-hmm.
We had to resolve it on earth.
Right.
Right? So once it's resolved, then the Pleiadians release the light lock.
Mm-hmm.
So the light is being used as pure spirit source energy that's being manifest as according to some incantation or spell or something to bend the light in a certain manner that create this radioactive barrier. Because all it is radiation. When you understand the different waves of light and the different waves of energy, it's radiation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then it's supported by what they call Arcturian conjure support. That mean they did something that gave added power to what the Pleiades was already doing. So we tapping into the